Welcome to the Weather Center. Our latest satellite pictures showing us storm clouds that developed on Wednesday afternoon across much of the interior and more so over the central parts of the Eastern Cape, where we have this big mass of storm clouds giving us isolated to scattered thunderstorms across those parts of the country. Now tonight we are going to stay with isolated to scattered thunderstorms extending from the Northern Cape down into parts of the Eastern Cape and pushing eastwards into parts of KwaZulu-Natal, and through the night we should see some of the thunderstorms trekking into the eastern areas. And we're also going to see quite a lot of fog creeping onto the west coast this evening. Then we start off Thursday with a lot of cloud covering parts of southern South Africa, where drizzly conditions are possible for the south coast. We're also going to see some cloud pushing into eastern Mpumalanga and the Limpopo province in the morning. Then in the afternoon, isolated to scattered thunderstorms are expected once again for much of the interior, extending down into the southern Cape areas and also spilling into the western parts of KwaZulu-Natal. It's going to stay pretty quiet from Mpumalanga and the Limpopo province. We are going to see scattered thunderstorms tonight over the southeastern areas of the Northern Cape, the eastern parts of the Eastern Cape, and across western KwaZulu-Natal. Between a 20 and 40% chance of thunderstorms is forecast where you see the light shades of blue. We still have a watch in place for severe thunderstorms that could produce large hail and damaging winds tonight for the northeastern areas of the Eastern Cape and across the western parts of KZN. Light to moderate winds are forecasted tonight across much of South Africa. Moderate northeasterlies are forecast for much of the east coast. A southeasterly breeze is expected for the southwest coastline. We start off Thursday with light winds across much of the interior, but fresh winds should set in the afternoon for the western sections, and a fresh to strong breeze is forecast for parts of the east coast. It's going to be warm tonight for much of South Africa, minimums in the lower 20s along much of the south and the east coast, as well as across much of the Northern Cape, where Upington will see a low temperature of 24 degrees on Thursday morning. Fairly warm as well for Mahikeng and Lephalale, both with minimums of around 21 degrees. A little bit cooler for the rest of northeastern and eastern South Africa. Then in the afternoon, it's going to stay hot in most areas across South Africa. Upington will see temperatures staying at the 40-degree mark. Cape Town will once again peak at 32 degrees. A little bit cooler for Port Elizabeth with a high of 29. It's going to stay hot for much of KwaZulu-Natal. Durban with a high of 31. A hot one is also forecast for the northeastern sections. Mahikeng and Pretoria staying with top temperatures in the mid-30s. Here's looking ahead to your Friday. We are going to see thundershowers once again extending from the Northern Cape into parts of KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape. Rain for George and Port Elizabeth. Then on Saturday, thunderstorms are forecast across much of South Africa. Rainy weather continues for Port Elizabeth and George.